Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I'm just going to do some sharing, get some people connected to me. And then we'll start our live. Okay. All right. Thanks for bearing with me while we do all the tech stuff. All right. Oh, one more thing and then we'll get started. Sorry. Thanks. I'll do a little singing while I'm doing it. La 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 la. Hello, I'm Gaia Morissette, and I believe that the keys to a happy, healthy, wealthy, magical, epic, orgasmic life is sexual wellness, embracing the human experience, and letting go of fear, shame, guilt, and self-loathing. I'm a universal translator and conduit of love and light. I help the world heal from trauma and help heal the world heal and release trauma. I'm a holistic sexual wellness specialist, a high priestess of divine sexual magic, a guardian of elemental magics. I make pleasure safe, I make sex better, and I help people take their lives to the next level. And I do this through speaking, training, and coaching. And welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Frisky Fridays, where we explore all things couple related that affect relationships. And today we're going to talk more general about relationships. But before we get into that, a couple of different logistical things that we got going on. So I'm live here in YouTube. And there's a little bit of a delay. So if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please put them in the chat, and I will get to them as soon as I see them. Let's see, number one. Number two, please join oh, I got the wrong thing up. It says Transcendent Thursdays. It's not Transcendent Thursdays. It's Frisky Fridays. So hold on. Yes, it says Frisky Fridays there. Oh, we're good. I don't know why it says Transcendent Thursdays. Crazy YouTube. All right. Anyways, lots of adventures. So join Frisky Fridays list so that you can have all the access to all the replays, everything that's going to be coming down the line that's couple related and relationship related. And let's get into our topic about love. So this week I started teaching a course called Relationship Deep Dive. And we were exploring this week love and what is love and love paradigms. And, 5 love languages are and then our love styles. And it was a really awesome class. And we dive deep into those topics. And one of the things that came out of it, which is what I wanted to share with you today, is that many people have a really hard time recognizing how other people show love. We all kind of move from this belief system that the way you show people love is how other people show you love. And that's not true. There's a great book called The 5 Love Languages, and it talks about the 5 major ways in which people share and show love. The first one is words of affirmations. Second one is time spent. The third one is acts of service. The fourth one is gifts. And the fifth one is physical touch. Okay. So we got words, time, service, physical, and gifts. Obviously, I don't use the gift one very much. I always seem to forget that one. Okay. So that being said, now I want to kind of think about, so what ends up happening is that we, especially, let's talk about our intimate relationship. Okay. So we're in an intimate relationship with our partner or partners, depending if you're polyamorous or not, or, you know, ethically non-monogamous. And we feel like they don't love us. We don't feel loved. We don't feel, you know, that they get us. We don't, you know, we wish they would do this. We wish they would buy us flowers more. We wish that they would, you know, spend more time with us, or we wish that they would bring us more gifts, or whatever it is that you, however you show love is what you want others to, how to show you love. And when you don't receive love in that way, you don't even acknowledge it as them showing you love. So you'll say lots of things like, if you loved me, you would. I don't feel loved because you don't. These feelings, these thoughts, these statements. One, first of all, love isn't supposed to be on condition, by the way. You just love somebody or you don't. But that's another conversation for another day. The difference between love and unconditional love. Right? But for this purpose of our conversation today, I want you to stop for a second and think about, well, how do I show I love? And here's a great example. So when I really love somebody, there's things that these are my go-tos, right? So one of my go-to is words of affirmation. I text everybody in my life that I love them and that they're important to me. And I give them little random love bombs and affirmations and how fabulous I think of them, right? That's my go-to, right? That's really easy for me to do. Then my secondary would be time spent. I rather have an experience with somebody and spend time with them on an adventure that shows that because for me, my time is so important and so valuable because I don't have a lot of it because I'm really busy. So when I take time out of my schedule to spend time with somebody, that's me showing how much I love them. The third one is for me, physical touch is in there, of course. You know, because we're intimate and connection and that kind of stuff. And, you know, walking by somebody and just touching them or giving them a hug or spanking them on the butt or whatever. That's other ways in which I show I love people. And then for me, then the next one is acts of service. Now, I don't typically do acts of service. And so when I do acts of service, it's usually because my lover or the person that's important to me, their love language is acts of service. And so it's not my go-to. It's not what I naturally do. So what ends up happening is if I'm doing active service for somebody, it means I really, really, really love you. And if I do go out of my way to be your love language and to speak your love language and you don't acknowledge it, then it's very painful and very hurtful. And part of that is about me taking responsibility. So here's a great example. I hate doing the dishes. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Now, when I'm over at my lover's, my primary partner, whose name is Lady Bunny, actually that's not his birth name, but that's his name that I call him. And I'm doing his dishes for him. I tell him, I'm doing your dishes because I really love you. And so he knows that, oh, this is not just normal. This isn't, I'm not actually, like, I'm actually going out of my way to do something as a way to express that I love you, right? I'm telling you that I love you by doing your dishes. Now, if I didn't say, I'm telling you that I love you by doing your dishes, he may never know. And every time I did his dishes, he might take it for granted and not realize, like, wow, she really loves me. Look at her. She's doing my dishes. So there's two folds. One, first of all, you need to figure out what your love languages are and how do you show people love. And then when you show people love, especially your primary partner, tell them, I'm doing this because I love you. This is how I show I love you. Just so that they can recognize it for what it is. On the receiving end, I want you to ask them, how do they show love? And how would they like to receive love from me? Right? My acts, so for example, my go-to words of affirmation, that makes Lady Bunny really uncomfortable. He doesn't really, I mean, he receives it because he knows that that's how I show love, and he loves me, so he's receiving it the way that I love him, and he's acknowledging for what it is. But at the core of him, he doesn't really, it makes him kind of uncomfortable. But that's okay, because he's like, okay, part of being in love with Gaia is that she's going to send me little love messages all the time. That's part of what it is. And that's okay. I want you to ask them, how do you want me to show you love? This is how I show love, naturally. And every once in a while, I'll meet you where you need to meet. And I'll go out of my way to show you love the way that you can really receive it. This way, both parties can love how they love, receive the love from the partner, how they can receive it, but also to receive the love and acknowledge it for what's happening. Years and years ago, here's another really great example of this. Years and years ago, in my marriage, I realized that my partner, my husband, he wasn't really one for like words of affirmation. And so, but he would go to like 5 different stores to get me these cookies. He's like, he'd be like, do you want anything? And I'd be like, ooh, I really want these cookies. And because I have so many dietary restrictions and stuff, that it's like not just cookies. I have to have a very specific brand and a specific kind, or otherwise I can get sick. And he didn't want to go out to get cookies, but he wanted to do something nice for me, cheer me up, that kind of stuff, to show me that he loved me. And so he would go to the store, and he go to the first store and they didn't have cookies, and he go to the second store, and I never understood. Like, he left. It was like 2 hours before I came back, or sometimes 3 hours. I'm like, where the fuck have you been? He's like, I'm getting you cookies. I'm like, well, did you make the cookies? He's like, no, I had to go like 5 or 10 stores to find the cookies. I drove all over the city for you. And at first, I didn't understand what that meant. I remember thinking, well, that was stupid. You could have just called me and I would have picked something else I would have picked something else because personally, there's no way in hell I drive to 5 or 10 stores for boxed cookies. I don't care how much I love you. It's cookies. Get over it. We'll find something else that will make you happy. And I didn't understand it, because for me personally, I would never do that. Ever. And eventually, all of a sudden, and it used to annoy me, because I was like, dude, you were supposed to be gone for like 5 minutes, right? Like, what the hell? And then I realized, I had this epiphany, this moment of like, oh, wow, he really loves me. This is how he's showing me he loves me. He's going out of his way. He's not wasting his time, but he's exerting energy and time where he could be relaxing on his day off. Like, he's doing all this stuff going out of his way for me. Like, that's like love. Like, that's real love. I was like, oh, wow, he really does love me. Because he does. Then I started thinking about, wow, he does that a lot. in a lot of ways. You know, all to put a smile on my face, or to to have a smile happen for me. And it was incredible for me to realize. I was like, oh, that's what happens. So often in relationships, so couples come see me all the time. And when couples come see me, the first thing I talk to them about is like, because I can see how much they love each other, but they don't see how much the other person loves them, because they aren't speaking the same language and they aren't understanding each other's love languages, and they're not acknowledging it. So to kind of dive into this deeper, I highly recommend going and picking up the book, The 5 Love Languages, because it goes into it much deeper. But in the meantime, I want you to start observing, how does this person show love? And can I receive it? So there's that component, understanding that it is certain behaviors and actions are their expression of love. But then the other part of that is, do you feel worthy of receiving love? Are you comfortable enough to allow others to love you? That's a bigger question, and that's a harder one to, because a lot of us are carrying this unworthiness, and I'm not lovable, and you don't really love me, and no one would really love me because I'm a horrible human being. Like, we're carrying these kind of belief systems of not feeling lovable deep inside us. And as we feel not lovable, no matter how much somebody shows that they love us, it will never be enough. You're like this empty void inside, and they can't fill you, and they can never fill you, because the truth is that the only person can fill you, if you have that emptiness inside you, the only person that can fill you is you. You have to fix that. That is just there is no getting around it. Nobody else in the whole planet could love you. Even the whole planet could love you and still not fill that void. Because if you don't allow yourself to receive the love that people give to you and share with you, and appreciation, and a good way to see how well you're able to receive love is, how well are you able to receive compliments? If somebody gives you a compliment, do you deflect it? You'd be like, no worries, no problem, don't worry about it. If that's the answer to that question, and you tend to not receive compliments, if you can't receive a nice comment from somebody, the likelihood of you really truly allowing yourself to feel loved by others, most likely isn't there. So that means you got some work to do. And I know the perfect person to help you with that. You. And if you want some more support, you can reach out to me or somebody like me that's, does this work of helping, you heal and self-growth and self-love. You can reach me at succulentliving.com if you're like, I'd like to kind of hang out with Gaia and she can help me heal those wounds inside me so that I can actually receive love from my partner, so I can be content and I can give love. Because the truth is if you have a hard time receiving love, it means there's emptiness inside you. So you're probably not a big giver of love. Unconditional love anyways. And so it's a problem. It's kind of the core problem of really being happy and content in a relationship with your partner or partners, or in life, really. So, all right, that's it. That's all. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a bunch of stuff. I will see you next Friday. Stay tuned. Next week is a very exciting week. I will be launching a whole bunch of really amazing programs and courses and home study courses and guided programs. And I'm launching my resource library. Woohoo! All right. Bye-bye. If you have any questions, you can reach me at succulentliving.com. Don't forget to get on the Frisky Fridays mailing list, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.